So hello everyone, and welcome here to round number 3 of the 2017B NASA RallyCross Challenge season. We're back at the St. Eustache Circuit here in Quebec, Canada, once again for an enthralling battle. As it's Josh Mertz bringing you the call, as always, for the Automotive Sports Network. This should be a really nice race, and I always say that when we come here because of the fast-flowing nature, because of how crazy it is, and simply because this track is one of the best. We've got 10 cars for today's race, so 2 quarterfinals, 2 semifinals, LCQ, and a final. Realistically, the format hasn't changed for quite some time, but we still introduced the format graphic for the new viewers. Josh Mertz was fastest in seating, but we'll have to see what happens. Quarterfinal 1 coming up. Mertz, Living Good, Wetz, Odom, Kraus, green flag for the first quarterfinal, off the line, red-plated, Wetz will lead us into turn 1, followed by the MRT teammates. Mertz beats his teammates in turn 1. Kraus is in second. Mertz takes the lead through turn 1. Not trying
under review
to take any prisoners. Living Good hits the tire barrier, and it looks like he went off the track and damage to the 51.
Racing incident.
As, remember, no jokers on the first lap of the race. Kraus third, Wetz second. Kraus is going to try and take the fight. Contact between them.
I don't know if I'd have enough engine power to make the jump.
Under review.
Goes Wetz. Mertz leads at the end of the first lap.
End of 181.
The MRT crew.
If you take the Joker on the first lap, by the way, that's a DQ from the race. I forgot to mention that.
51 MRT crew has a lot of work to
They're
do
doing one.
to fix that car.
No one took it for lap 1.
No, I'm just saying. I remembered.
Yeah, good.
Wetz hounding Mertz in the 23 to the 81, holding the red plate. I believe that's the first time we've seen Wetz hold the red plate in quite some time. So the man from Texas trying to hold this championship lead. Mertz jokers on the second lap of the race. So let's see where this will put him. Wetz will take the lead. Mertz
81 exiting.
Wetz takes the lead.
End of
Kraus
2:23.
The young Canadian at his home racetrack, in front of the man who has won almost every single race here, and rookie Andrew Odom making his first start. Looks like there's damage on the front of the Autosport Ford Focus. And Living Good still rounding the track in the 51. As we hit cross flags that lap, as Wetz still holds the lead. He has not jokered yet. I say this now every single show, that Chris Wetz jokers on the last lap of the race. So we'll have to see.
Cross flags 23 leads.
Kraus has not jokered either, but he's the fastest man on the track at a 40.097. Mertz ran a 40.342, but he already took his joker. And Wetz ran a 40.338. Mertz is coming on catching these guys. Arriving to the scene very quickly on Dylan Living Good is the leader, so blue flag for the 51 will be shown. Philip Kraus slides it in the final corner.
Blue flag to the 51.
Copy, copy.
The 51 gets the leaders to pass him.
End of 4:23. Sorry.
2 to go in the quarterfinal. As Kraus runs it wide, Mertz takes the second spot, and let's right on board the rear of car number 23. That is the gap from him to Mertz. Let's see if Wetz will joker here, coming to the white flag. He does not joker in the 23. Kraus does, so take him out of the equation. And this is going to be the battle. It's going to be interesting to see if Wetz has the delta, but I don't think he does. And he takes the white flag.
White flag 23.
Turn 1 very quick. 40.289. Let's see what Mertz ran. 40.280. So they are on par with one another here in Canada. And the MRT Subaru, I believe, has the delta to take this quarterfinal win, but we'll have to see over the jump. Wetz jokers. There goes Mertz. I don't think there's going to be any contest into the final corner, but we'll have to see. No contest. Wetz slides it, but he can't do it. Mertz is going to win the quarterfinal in Canada. and proceed to the final.
And checkered flag, 81 wins. 23 P2. 19 P3.
The 66 and 51 also to the semifinal.
Hold on. Sorry, I'll get the lights. That was a really...
We're all, we're good.
I'm just picturing a guy in like a NASA suit, like running towards the spotter stand.
6 laps Joker wants.
I'm running with the flag.
Do not talk and chat on the gridding process.
Valley, Johnson, Berg, Denice for the second
Good luck.
quarterfinal.
6 laps Joker wants.
Revving them up, getting ready to go. Green flag off the line. Johnson got the initial jump, but he lagged back. It's going to be Valley v. Berg to turn 1. Let's see who's going to beat. It's going to be Indiana v. Delaware. Johnson nearly makes contact with Berg off the track. He goes in the 77 and
only
into
one
the
car.
tire barrier.
Green flag.
Side by side
fault,
still. Berg with Valley. Valley trying to fight back on the outside. Nearly make contact with Denice. And Berg will lead us through the water and down the backstretch for the first time. The man from Delaware made his debut at this race last season. I believe he ran a Mitsubishi that race. So we'll have to see what his new Ford power can do as we round the final corner and he leads.
End
Victor
of
Valley,
1, 91 leads. Joker is now
Doug
allowed.
Denice and Zach Johnson as Valley in the factory Hondas. The rest of the cars are the privateers. 45.267 to a 45.927. Obviously, that was with the start included, so it's going to be a little incorrect for the lap time through the water. Valley got through the turn so much better. I believe that's turn 4 on the double apex, much quicker than Berg did over the jump. Let's see who will Joker in the first lap of the race. Valley does.
Warning to the 24.
The nice Jokers as well.
I had all 4 on.
End of 2, 91 leads.
Berg yet to Joker as the other two competitors for this transfer spot and the win jokered on the first opportunity on the second lap of the race. So Berg ran a 41.530. Let's take a look at what Valley ran as he jokered a 44.175. So it's about 2.5 seconds slower to Joker. And Berg skips the Joker again. So we're coming across flags here in Canada. And Brendan Berg in the
End of 3, cross
Ford
flags, 91 leads.
for Iceberg MSC. 41.428. And the Honda power gives Valley a 40.892, so 0.6 of a second faster. And Berg, I think, is losing time by not jokering, because if he were to joker on the last lap, he would potentially come out ahead of Valley. But Valley, think of it as an F1 pit stop. When somebody pits a lap earlier, when your rival pits a lap earlier or a lap later than you, they are pushing like there's no tomorrow to get the delta. And Berg, I think, recognizes
Warning to the 91.
as
he jokers, but there is no delta contact.
Shit.
Penalty box.
Stop for you.
Penalty box 91. End of 4. 24 leads.
So Valley takes the lead, and the 91 of Berg has to go to the penalty box. As remember that gentleman rule of when you turn someone, you stop. That was cut from the rule book.
To vouch for the 91, he did stop, and it was
Yeah,
the racing
I was
field.
about to say that.
Same spot. That was.
Even if the guy agrees
was-
on it. Race chat, guys.
That is race chat, but
Bad call. He's gotta go.
91 penalty box stopping is not allowed. That has been gone over in the rulebook.
And just as we were going to go over,
the only reason why I said that was
Yeah,
because
don't worry
it was
about it.
more of.
White flag 24 leads, race chat.
this is causing quite a stir over the radio. But it was a gentleman's rule a couple seasons ago when if you turn someone, you could stop, and that counts as your penalty box. But there was a lot of arbitration going on, whether this was a stop or this was a stop, or did he stop? So race control cut that out of the rulebook entirely, and you simply turn someone, you go to the penalty box. But Berg and Valley don't see it that way. But if Valley hangs on, he will join Mertz in the final here in Canada, and I believe Denice and Berg, along with Johnson, as Johnson's struggling with 77, will have to go
Checkered
to the semi.
flag, quarterfinal 2. Will have the 24 winning and advancing. With the semi goes the 10. Also the 91.
Getting ready to go for the first semifinal in Canada. Wets, Kraus, Odom, and Living Good. Green flag. Odom off the line, wheel spin in car number 66. Take him out of it. So it's going to be the championship contenders emerging this season, Phil Kraus and Chris Wets, battling for the semifinal win. Into turn 2, into turn 3, through the dirt, through the water. Kraus will hold the lead over the jump. Let's see if Wets will take it to the inside and try and make a move on car number 23, or sorry, car number 19.
End of 1, 19 leads. Jokers allowed.
At the end of the first lap, Kraus leads us. 43.354 off the line to a 43.674, so 0.3 of a second faster was Kraus than Wets.
51 warning track limits.
And 66 of Odom still fourth in the Falcon tire car. Living Good off the track in car number 51. And looks like Wets might have had an issue there as he lost quite a bit of time from Kraus. And let's see who will joker on the second lap of the race. Kraus does not. Wets does, so switching up his
End of 2, 19 leads.
Well-known strategy. As Odom in the 66, looks like there's a parts failure. He has pulled off the side of the road and he's parked it. So we'll see him in the LCQ in just a couple moments. Through the chicane, down to the dirt. Philip Kraus 40.217. Wets ran a 44.766. As he's all over the track in the Mitsubishi. I'm not sure what's going on inside of the Revolution Racing car. But we'll see if Kraus jokers on the third lap of the race. No, he is going to milk this for all it's worth and joker on the last lap
End
of
of
the race.
3, 19 leads, white flag.
In the area 52, Citroen. Into the chicane, 39.954. I believe that's the fastest lap so far this weekend by Philip Kraus in the 19. Odom still on the side of the road. He's out of the car though. I'm not really sure what happened to the 66, but it's going to be former teammates Wets and Living Good battling, but Kraus has not jokered in the 19. Let's go on board car number 23 and see if we can find Kraus. In the 19, he's going to crest the jump. You see Kraus in the
Checkered flag, 19 wins semifinal A.
No contest for Philip Kraus.
So the LCQ will be the 23, 51, and 66.
That's okay.
I think that was probably one of the best heats I've ever driven.
Joker once.
Getting ready for the second semifinal. 3 privateers in this one. It's Zach Johnson, Brendan
These nights are
Berg,
great.
and Doug DeNice. Getting ready. DeNice had an issue on the start. Green flag. Johnson's way
What a
out
start
and
by
away
Zach Johnson.
from the
Race
rest
chat.
of the field. Into turn 1. It is Johnson, Berg, and then
What a start by
DeNice.
Zach Johnson.
But Johnson making fun of himself over the scanner as he went off the track in the 77. What a character. Zach Johnson from New Jersey. Over the dirt and the jump for the first time. Berg now leads DeNice, and this is going to be a fascinating battle between these two privateers. Ford v Subaru, a very classic battle in NASA Rallycross. DeNice slides
91 warning
into the
track
final
limits for
corner,
hitting cones.
and Berg will lead us
End
to
of
the end
1,
of the first
91
lap.
leads. Joker is allowed.
4.67 to a 45.9. It's going to be interesting to see. Johnson ran a 47.3. Let's go on board DeNice in car number 10. And see how he can catch the 91. Very quick under braking off the track of the 10, but he was very good under braking.
That was the quickest I've seen anyone.
And even Philip Kraus over the radio
In the water.
applauding Doug DeNice's ability
Zach,
under braking.
that was the quickest first chicane I've seen.
Into
Warning to
final
the 10, track limits for hitting cones.
Stop hitting cones.
Off the final corner.
End of 2, cross flags, 91 leads.
For Brendan Berg in the 91. Nobody's Joker yet, so this race is going to come down to the Delta. And if someone alternates their strategy, they could follow each other home. But that means one of them has to go to the LCQ. Denice struggled over the jump there in the 10. There's a little kicker jump before that corner.
Do it twice.
And no, that's not a branded jump. It just happened that the camera's focused on Brendan Berg, but a little bit of a mound. As speaking of, Berg had an issue landing, popped the rear wheels up. That's going to affect him in the Joker. Denice, I believe, took to the regular course, so he's going to take the lead on the white flag
End of
lap
3, white flag, 10 leads.
here in the semifinal. It's going to be interesting to see if Denice can hold this delta, 42.167 to 45.332. So it is a couple seconds difference from Denice to Berg. And let's ride on board the rear camera of car number 10 just to see. There is Berg in the yellow car, middle of the shot. And we're going to see, we're going to focus on Denice through the Joker. He should have the delta to take this semifinal win. There goes Berg. Where is he as they make the merge? There he is, and Denice looks like he's going to take this LCQ, semifinal win. No, side by side.
Oh my god!
Shit,
Oh my god!
It was
Oh my god!
The semifinal!
That was fucking great. Craven got him!
I legit got
Good
excited
race,
because I
man.
thought they both wrecked.
The 91
Oh
and
my
the
God.
77 will go to the
That
LCQ.
was sexy.
That's
That
like
was
the
what?
second. That's the second photo finish in NASA history.
Two
Watch out.
manufacturer cars with Berg, Odom, and Johnson for 3 laps. Getting ready to go for the LCQ in Canada. Green flag off the line. Living Good with his former teammate Wetz will battle side by side to turn 1. Berg looks to the inside to make it 3 wide. No. Wetz will take the lead and Living Good into the tire barrier. And that may hinder car
That'll be
number
under review.
51. As off the road goes the Red Bull Subaru.
You're really fucking kidding me.
And Johnson in 3rd as he loops it in the 77. And contact in
There was a 3 car
the
at the back.
backstretch.
Was it 3? 3 that
3
wrecked?
cars.
2 and then Dylan got involved.
Red flag.
Red flag in
Red
Canada.
flag. Stop it at the grid. Red flag.
Can I pit for tires?
Yep. If you have a blown one, looks like
Heading
you
for
do.
damage.
Yep. You can pit for damage, and the 51 can pit for tires. The rest of you guys, regrid in your old spots, please.
I got loose, so that's on me.
As Johnson
That
hit the
51 seen better days.
and Living Good pits in car number 51.
Is it not servicing you?
No, they're not.
I mean, I can't let you race with a blown tire, but I also don't want you to go out there with a blown tire. I mean, I wouldn't care if you reset, but that's...
Let him reset.
Yeah,
Reset it?
that's a track issue. The 51 can reset.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, the pit boxes, normally they appear. It's a glitch in NR03, which has them disappear, so I'm not too sure on that. Please be careful into turn 1, because it looked like the 91 bit the curb and just washed out into the 51, so...
Not
Yeah, I do
kill,
apologize
let's
for
not
that.
kill Dylan again.
Please, thanks.
Watch him right now.
23 pull up a bit, 66 pull up a bit. 23 good, 66 good, 3 laps, Joker once.
Getting ready for the LCQ. Here in Canada, Odom, Berg, Wetz, Living Good Johnson, green flag, and off the line. Living Good gets a jump over his former teammate Wetz, but looks like Berg tried to make it 3 wide. He thought of it, but Living Good will beat them to turn 1. Wetz 2nd, 3rd Berg, 4th Johnson, 5th is Odom. Berg slides it along with Johnson off the track as the 3 privateers battling for 3rd, but you know that that battle means nothing, as in the final already is Philip Kraus, Josh Mertz, Doug Denice, and Victor Valley. So these guys, if they don't make the final, they are battling for 2nd overall. Rounding the corner. to end the first
End of
lap
1,
of
51
the
leads.
LCQ.
Joker is
Dylan
permitted.
Livingood leads, followed by Chris Wetz in car number 23. Berg is in the 3rd spot. 4th is Johnson. 5th is Andrew Odom. And Livingood holds the lead for Red Bull Subaru MRT. Chris Wetz in the Revolution Racing Mitsubishi through the water, pushing very hard to try and take the LCQ victory. You know Wetz is good here. I believe he's won a couple times. Jokering is Livingood. Jokering is Berg. Johnson passes by the Joker. So where is Wetz? There he is on the white flag.
End of 2, 23 leads, white flag.
White flag for Wetz. 40.855 to Livingood at 44.329. So it's about a 3-second delta here in Canada. It's going to be interesting to see if Wetz can hold it. Ran it wide there in turn 3 into turn 4. Livingood pushing hard, but I don't think he'll be able to get it. Simply because how fast Wetz was on that last lap. But we shall see. Jokering is Wetz in the 23 from the helicopter. Where is Livingood? There he is. He's battling with Berg for the transfer spot. Berg slides it wide. Wetz is out and away from these two, and he
23 wins the LCQ. 51 will transfer. 91 outside looking in.
Oof.
Berg.
7th place to the 91. 77 is 8.
Did you blow a gear, Dylan?
No.
I was wondering, because you went really slow on that last lap. I'm like, what's going on?
I stopped breathing.
I know why. I know why.
I don't think I took a breath that entire last lap.
66 will finish 9th.
Yay, Andrew.
I thought it was going to
in
be
Canada. Getting ready for the Canadian Grand Prix. Mertz is on pole, then it's Kraus, Wetz, Denice, Valley, and Livingood. 8 laps here in Canada. Green flag off the line. Wetz will be side by side, 3 wide with Kraus and Mertz. Mertz gets pinched to the inside there in the Subaru v the Citroen. Into turn 1. Mertz takes the lead, but into the tire barrier goes Mertz, plowed by his teammate, and Doug Denice there. Hard hit for the American. And Mertz is out. And I don't know what just happened with the German, but he missed the corner and wadded the entire field up. So while we regrid here, as the red flag obviously has been called, and Denice and Livingood's damage will be fixed, let's take a look and see what just happened. From the helicopter, here's the start. 3 wide. Mertz, Kraus, and Wetz. Wetz backs out of it. Let's do quarter of the speed. And Mertz is on the very inside to defend. He clips the curb. And what normally would you'd make the corner, I think he just hits the curb pushed wide and hits the jet out there in the tire barrier. Immediately stops, obviously, and then gets hit by his teammate. And poor Doug Denice here over in the Subaru, or the Volkswagen, sorry. That's the second time this season I've made that mistake. But I'm not really sure what happened, and clearly Mertz is out of the race. So the man who has dominated here in previous seasons out in turn 1, he will finish 6th in Canada here today. So that, unfortunately, I think is going to drop him down in the points. But we'll have to see. So we are Mertzless for the restart of the Canadian Grand Prix, and now this race is wide open. As Mertz's grid spot is empty, Valley is behind where he was supposed to be. Kraus, Wetz, Denice on the front row, and then Livingood joins Valley. As the crew was able to fix Doug Denice's car remarkably after he rolled it in turn 1, getting ready to go for the restart for the Canadian Grand Prix. Green flag off the line. Mertz is not there, so it's side by side still. Wetz v Kraus into turn 1. Citroen v Mitsubishi, and Kraus leads us into turn 1. Wetz is 2nd, 3rd is Valley, 4th is Denice, 5th is Livingood. Into turn number 3, into turn 4, through the water, and down the back straightaway over the jump. Philip Kraus, the Canadian, trying to emulate what Dylan Livingood did, I believe, in 2014A. He won in Canada at his home race. Through the final corner to begin the second lap. Kraus still leads Wetz. 43.832 to a 43.150. So 0.7 of a second faster is Philip Kraus in car number 19. Valley third. Takes the fight to Wetz. Wetz ran it wide there in turn 3. Valley tried to look to the inside but couldn't make anything happen. Let's see who will joker on the first opportunity here in the second lap of the race. Philip Kraus does not. Wetz does not. Valley will, so he'll spice up the strategy in the 24, and so does Denice. But Kraus leads at the end of the second lap. Let's see, 40.84084, sorry, to a 4.90, so he's half a second faster than Wetz from helicopter view. And you see how quick everyone is into that first corner. And Wetz runs it wide again, but it's an interesting line that you have to run. You have to run a late apex to get as far to the right as you can in that little straight and apex down. So it is really a double apex corner. Let's see if Kraus will joker on the third lap of the race. Doesn't look like he will, but Wetz will in the 23. Red plate holder and championship leader took the championship lead from Mertz last week. And Kraus leads at the end of the third lap. 40.247. Living Good did not joker, so he pips his former teammate, but his team driver, in the 23. And I don't know how this strategy is going to unravel for Wetz. I think this might be a bad thing, because Living Good ran a 40.999 as his fastest lap. Wetz ran a 40.490, and with Kraus, you need to take every opportunity you can. We've seen when he gets out front. We are coming to cross flags in Canada, and Philip Kraus leads from Chris Wetz. He got by Living Good in the 51, and Living Good was able to pip Valley and Denice, who exits the joker. 40.41342 to a 47.43. So clearly, Living Good held up Wetz, and Wetz is struggling down there in turn 3. He did it again. It's a very tricky braking zone that you have to get right. And if you don't, well, it's not going to be a fun time. Kraus jokers now on lap 5. So let's see what this does to the strategy. Wetz did not, but we'll have to see. Exiting the joker, is there any contest? Absolutely none at all. Philip Kraus leads us with 3 laps to go. 42.928 to a 40.315. That was Wetz's fastest lap once he got released from Living Good. But there's still a hefty margin. I believe Kraus still has a joker left, and Wetz's strategy was played, I believe. So maybe this will fall into the hands of Chris Wetz, but we'll have to see. We're coming to 2 laps to go in Canada, and Kraus holds the lead. He does not joker. Wetz does not joker. Living Good holding third, but he still has a joker left, and I believe Valley does not. Living Good jokers in the 51, 2 to go for Kraus. This is going to be an interesting merge between Living Good and Valley. Valley sneaks to the inside, swoops past him, and Living Good tries to fight on the corner exit, but cannot get it done. So this is going to be a good battle for the podium to see if MRT can be represented for the 3rd consecutive race, but I'm not sure if it'll be able to happen. Coming to the white flag in Canada, and the Canadian Philip Kraus leads over Chris Wetz. Valley 3rd, 4th Living Good, 5th Denice. Wetz jokers in the 23. His strategy is played, so all he can hope for is Kraus will make a mistake. 1 lap to go. 43.198 to a 39.897. Kraus is flying. 40.924 for Valley. He holds 3rd over Living Good of 42.134. I don't think Living Good will be on the podium today. But Philip Kraus, interestingly, after what happened in turn 1, he takes to the joker. Mertz crashed in turn 1, and that gave Kraus a very easy run, as Wetz isn't even close. Win number 3 for the Canadian, and the first time at home, Philip Kraus wins in St. Eustache, followed by Chris Wetz in 2nd. Rounding out the podium is the Honda of Victor Valley, picking up the pieces. Living Good brings the MRT Subaru home 4th. 5th is Denise. And 6th was Mertz. 7th, Berg. 8th, Johnson. 9th, Odom. 10th, Lester. 11th, Erdman. Win number 4 for Philip Kraus. Win number 4 for Philip Kraus, and his first in Canada, and that gives Wetz a 6-point lead now after Mertz's issue in turn number 1. A fascinating race here in Canada, and we hope you a fascinating race today here in Canada, and we hope you can join us next week as we make our debut in West Allis, Wisconsin at the Milwaukee Mile. That should be a fun race as well. Congratulations to Philip Kraus. We hope to see you next week, but until then, so long, everyone.